Hello, my beloved HSPs. I am giving you something to chew on today that I think you will hopefully get a lot out of. And it's something that my HSP therapy clients present to me on pretty much a daily basis. And that is, how do we deal with people who don't have good boundaries and don't give us the space we need? So I will talk about two kinds of people that I have categorized into one subgroup I call space invaders, and the other one I call emotional vampires. Now, I don't think I made up emotional vampires. I think there's even some books written with that title. But space invaders came to me when I was thinking of my Atari game system that I had in the 1980s when I was like a very young teenager, and these little missiles or something would come at you, and they were space invaders, and you had to fight them off. But so I look at that visually. I think things in a very visual way, as many HSPs do. An emotional vampire, because I just think of a vampire going to suck your blood. That one's pretty straightforward. And a space invader trying to get in there, and you're just trying to fend them off. So it's very, very important for us HSPs to have solid boundaries, because we are very sought out because of our superpowers. And the biggest superpower that people that tend to be space invaders or emotional vampires see in us right away is our big ears, our ability to listen and offer advice and offer a helping hand. We always want to help people, and we're always seeing people in pain. We've got spidey senses. We can sense their pain. We can sense their suffering, and we just want to help them. And there's nothing wrong with that per se. But jokingly, I say to my clients, but are you getting paid to do that work? Like I am. Most of them say no, unless they happen to be therapists as well. So, first of all, we'll just do a little exercise on boundaries. And this comes from somatic type therapy, so I can't see my arms. But basically, I do a 360-degree circle with my clients. I show them this is the kind of boundary you should have all around yourself, going every which way, every angle, so that you have this giant bubble that is the width of both of your arms right across, so that people can't invade that space. And sometimes if you know, particularly say you have a meeting with someone that you know is a space invader or an emotional vampire, if you're going for coffee or whatever, do this before you go. Do your little space bubble. Just set the stage. Physically, it's very important. So somatically, when we do this, it sets up a sort of muscle memory for this boundary. And I have found, to my deep surprise, that I am actually, my arms start doing that when I'm with someone who's sucking the energy out of me or traumatizing me for no good reason. Yes, the arms come out now. It actually just happens organically. It's kind of strange in a social setting, but I'm learning to work with it, and it's quite fantastic. So now I can trust that my body will literally protect me from these folks. So, I have a more in-depth talk about emotional vampires. That's a video. If you want to watch that, it's also audio. Space invaders I haven't talked that much about, but space invaders are boundary crossers. They're people who try to constantly cross your boundary. And so, for example, people who ask you too much of yourself when you're not really close to them, for example. So someone who just expects you to do things for them, like pick up their kid along with your kid, and people that just vomit their troubles all over you. That's more of an emotional vampire thing. But anyone, Space Invaders and emotional vampires, they could be kind of lumped in the same category. They're people that you feel like doing this with, right? So as HSPs, I've talked before about how we have superpowers. One of our superpowers is to sense if people are safe or unsafe, or if they, basically the question I always ask people is, does this person give you energy and make you feel better than you felt before, energized? Or does this person suck the life force out of you and make you feel drained? That's really all you have to know. And then sometimes there's people who are kind of in between. They don't give you much energy, but they don't take much away. They're kind of neutral. And those people, might be okay for short bursts of time. Maybe you share an activity with them or a group. Maybe you're in a book club or something like that. Those people aren't dangerous. But the people that are dangerous for HSPs, you really need to look out for, are the Space Invaders and the emotional vampires, the ones that you need to set up strong boundaries with. So I invite you to really think about, for homework, who are the people in your life that drain the life force out of you or make you feel terrible or are, mean and rude to you, where you just walk away feeling worse after having interacted with them. So maybe write a list of who those people are, and then do your boundary setting, physical boundaries. Just play with this at home, at work, wherever you have to be doing it, and just put this physical bubble around you. And when you imagine being around that person, that's a first step. Other steps are actually shutting down conversations that feel traumatic, that feel just make you feel badly about yourself or just about the world. There's also depressing conversations. There's those people, the naysayers, oh, it was so bad, everything's terrible, I used to have to walk 15 miles to school. That kind of thing, you might want to shut that down as well. So eventually you will probably find on your journey that some of these people you want to just totally get out of your life, and maybe you're able to do that. Others may not be so straightforward. Maybe they're family, maybe they're old friends you've had for a long time, and you don't totally want to get rid of them, but you need to set new boundaries. And I'll leave it at that for now. I'm thinking maybe I'll do a video talk on boundary setting in particular, because that one is really, really important. So something to chew on. I'm very, very curious how this applies to your own life. If you've had experiences with Space Invaders and or emotional vampires, and how you've handled that as a highly sensitive person, both negatively and positively. If you can share some of your tips, I'm really trying to create a community for highly sensitive people where we can share things that empower and uplift each other, that help us to live better lives.